Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be ranking 33 anime from fall 2022, which was last year, but I had a lot of trouble making that video for a wide variety of reasons, but now I want to give it another go. So, not gonna waste any time, just gonna get right into it. Starting more or less from the bottom, going to the top. Gonna start with... What is the full title? I've improved my farming skills and now I'm stronger. Something like that. Some just like light novel gibberish. So it's pretty much what it sounds like on the tin. Light novel, isekai style, power fantasy trash. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. So I came in thinking this would just be some dumb fun. You know, I saw this blue-haired hero chick in the background and that drew me in. I came in and within the first 5 minutes he blew up a dragon using a carrot. I thought like this show could be like, even if it's not like, you know, like some like deep humanity, like human existence shit, like I thought it could be pretty good. Like in terms of just like having enjoyment, right? And it was for a while, but the longer the show went, the more my enjoyment would decrease, even though it seemed like the show never missed an opportunity to do the most surprising thing possible. Whether it's... I didn't want to start off with this, but they make these like orc, like sexual assault jokes with the main character, which is just like, you know, somebody thought these were funny. Somebody thought this was a good idea to put in. I was like, it got pretty old pretty quick, but that's just, I don't know, it's just a weird show. And, you know, there's a lot of girls and the girls are cute and he's got a lot of power, but the thing is, the show makes you think it's actually going to take something seriously and have like a serious kind of like legitimately good story, and it shows you a new character, a new member of the harem. You think, man, this girl, she's different, she's kind of cool. And then somehow they managed to turn every single girl into just another mindless harem slave. And I don't know how they did it. There is one nice episode, which was episode 9, which was legitimately, I thought, good story. It went into Al's backstory and why he's so obsessed with farming and just being a farmer and not abusing his super overpowered abilities. And I thought, man, this is where the show turns it around and actually takes on a more serious plot. And then it just kind of went back to the same old. We get a new girl. And pretty much every time the show ran out of stuff to talk about, it would just throw a new girl at you, which was, I was like, okay. And then at the very end, you have his childhood friend from the flashback who's supposed to be dead, but apparently she's not. And she's just there being all evil and menacing and without any further explanation. So yeah, I remember being really angry. Now looking back, I just laugh at it. It's just funny. But there's something about a show that gives you hope and then denies it and flips you the middle finger that makes me angrier than any just plain old trash could ever make me. So anyways, moving on to the next show. Legend of Mana. Legend of Mana. Put that shit in D tier, baby. Okay. So back when I made my tier list last year, this was actually at the bottom because the ending it just pissed me off. It just pissed me off, made me really angry. Looking back, it's not that bad, but let's start with the good. So there's some good stuff with this show. The art style is nice. The character designs are very creative. Of course, all of this is from the game. The flora, the fauna, the magical creatures are all very cool. You know, you got like Penguin Woman, you got Fish Man. The Jumis themselves have pretty cool designs. Their lore is pretty cool. So they're gem people who have a giant jewel on their chest. And when they die, they return to the core, but they can be resurrected with a teardrop crystal, which only one Jumi is able to create by crying. But she can't do that anymore because she is running out of her own kind of tears. So, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to work with, and I feel like the anime just dropped the ball very, very hard. So I feel like this is a show that didn't feel welcoming for people who haven't already played the game. Like, I go through the Crunchyroll comments, I see all these people who played it on the PS1 when they were probably like children, getting hyped, getting excited, saying this is amazing. Then you got people like me, people who've never played the game before, and they see just kind of just a lot of NPC dialogue. The show spends a lot of time just talking, and talking is not bad, but it's NPC dialogue that you would normally just spacebar through in a video game, or you would at least read very quickly. The show spends a lot of time doing that instead of actually building up the characters, building up the lore, giving them a proper backstory. So when there's any conflict or anything important happens, it doesn't feel like it has the proper weight. Shiloh, the main character, is your typical self-insert blank protagonist, which is totally fine in a video game, but in an anime, if a character has no motivations, it's hard to keep going through the story. It's hard to stay motivated to keep following them. And when the story finally concludes, and however it concludes, it just doesn't, things don't have the same weight. Things might not feel like they make sense, and definitely the ending did not feel like it made a lot of sense to me. Now, there is a director's cut for the last episode, which adds a few extra little bits, adds a scene, changes the ending to the proper game ending. This wasn't available when I originally watched the show last year, and that version is better, but it doesn't fix the problems with the show. And just generally speaking, all the characters feel like cardboard cutouts. And if you're going to have characters like that, I think you need to go harder into the lore, into the story, instead of spending so much time just talking, having slice of life moments, because it's not going to mean anything. But I forgot, I need to actually fucking put these on. Let me put them on the tier list. So we got Farming Isekai. All right. Shinobi no Ittoki. So this is a show that I was pretty hyped about as well. That's kind of just a theme for the bottom tier. So this show is about ninjas in the modern day, Naruto in the 21st century, which sounds fucking sick. And the first episode is pretty fucking sick. Ittoki's just living his normal life, and all of a sudden this cute girl asks him to come to her house, and he's like, yes, and she undresses and tries to fucking kill him. And then the story begins, and you think, man, this is cool. But then it just felt like they didn't have enough story for 12 episodes. So they kind of just go into ninja high school for like 6-7 episodes. Feels like none of this is really relevant. They slow roll like a gradual build up for the conflict, but in like a pretty not like very interesting way. So like you have, for instance, one episode is about Ittoki and the whole class going through this training exercise of climbing up a tower and taking a manju from the school principal. Another one is about them doing a heist mission to steal documents as from the teacher. It feels like they're just trying to relive the hype of the Chunin exam, but all of it falls flat because the characters aren't there, the backstory is not there, the dynamics are not there. And frankly, they don't even really go into that 21st century ninja power suit kind of stuff as hard as I think they could have. You got Ittoki who's constantly fucking whining. You have the school bully who's just angry and shouting and angsty all the time, which he has reasons for, but it's a bit much. You have 2 cardboard cutout harem girls, and then you got Kosetsu. And Kosetsu is the saving grace of the show. Her design is very cool. And in episode 9, she gets some big character moments. That's when the show starts to pick up again. So honestly, I would say you can watch episode 9, then skip to you can watch episode 1, skip to episode 9, just watch the rest from there. I think that's a perfectly valid way to watch it. You're not really missing a lot. Episodes 2 through 8. But yeah, so D tier. I mean, it just, oh man, it just hurts. When you're like, this could have been good. This could have been good. And it just wasn't. All right, let's talk about Arknights, which is something I probably shouldn't be talking about because I don't play Arknights. And this, kind of like Legend of Mana, feels like a show intended for people who play the game, which is not me. But I will say, like, the animation is nice, the art style is nice. I like the corruption arc they went with for Misha at the end, but it just feels like it's one of those shows where they just have characters pop up and you're supposed to be like, that's him, that's Mephisto, he did the thing. And it's sick and you're cheering, you're just happy your game got an anime adaptation, but doesn't feel like it was a show for newcomers. So a gacha game adaptation, I'd say, is for newcomers. Uma Musume Season 1, Princess Connect Redive, and I can't think of any more. There's probably another one I'm not thinking of. I think the Blue Archive one will probably be good, I think next year, but yeah. So, you know, if I go back to play Arknights, I'd probably move this up. I'd probably enjoy it a lot more, but I'm just gonna put it in D. I'm just gonna put it in D tier for now. So, okay, what's next? Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. So a lot of people shit on this show, and you know, you can shit on any show you want, and I'm going to probably be doing that today. But I wanted to say why. So to me, Uzaki-chan fits into that genre of best girl, the best girl genre, where there's one girl, there's one guy, and the whole point of the show is showing you why she is the best girl. The problem is, if you don't think she's the best girl, the whole show kind of falls flat. But actually, I think Uzaki is not that bad. I don't like her the way I like a Marin, or a Shikimori, or even like a Komi-san. I don't know, I'm trying to think of examples right now. Or like a Takagi, right? I mean, she's not the same tier as those girls, but she's not bad. She's not bad. It's just the thing about Uzaki-chan that really pisses me off is the jokes aren't super funny. The teasing is all right. The romance is okay, and all that's fine. But the show acts like it's such a big deal. The show overreacts every single joke. And if you've seen the show, you probably know what I'm talking about. So the fucking cat face they show every time they tell a fucking joke that's supposed to be funny. You have the fucking cafe owner and his daughter, I think granddaughter? I forget it's daughter or granddaughter, but fucking being like, man, wow, Uzaki and her senpai are so funny. I'm so glad I got to watch this show. And it's just like, bro, just play a fucking laugh track if you want to tell me to laugh, okay? There's nothing that pisses me off more than a laugh track. And Uzaki-chan it's just all right, but the show asking me to laugh like that, just like the YouTuber asking you to smash the like and subscribe button. Not that pisses me off, but like it just rubs me the wrong way. So. It makes it really hard to get through. All right, what's the fucking next show? Oh man. Oh, before I go, I will say there's one scene I like in Uzaki-chan, which is the mint chocolate chip rant, because that one didn't feel like she was trying to be funny. It didn't feel like the show was forcing something on you. Just like it was just her ranting about mint chocolate chip, and I liked it. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh man. Oh, I forgot you. Oh, shit. I think here. Okay. Okay. I'm the Villainess, and I'm taming the final boss. Following the trend of more shows I was hyped about and fucking disappointed by. So I really loved Hamafura, aka Bakarina, aka I'm the Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom. Or I think My Life is a Villainess, something like that. Which was released right before COVID hit the States. Back in 2020, and I thought that was a wonderful otome game isekai. So the plot being, you have a girl, she dies, she's reincarnated into a dating sim, a reverse dating sim, you could even say, a reverse harem dating sim, but she's the villainess. But actually she's the main character of the story now, and she uses her knowledge of the game to avoid like dying and whatnot. And I like that reverse harem protagonist character a lot, because normally they just feel like fucking great women. They just feel like, man, you're sick. You're a sick character. I get why people like you. This show's a little different, right? Because there's only one guy, really, at least in the beginning. There should have only been one guy. And she tames the final boss in 3 episodes, which is fine, but it's a little fast. And after that, the show starts suffering from severe light novel syndrome, which is a lot of dialogue that reads like Genshin dialogue, and not really any animation besides lip flaps. So I'll play a scene without cutting anything from it, and you'll probably kind of get what I'm talking about. I just don't think anime was the right medium for this, because if I read it as a novel, it would be better. But even then, I thought the plot it felt like just people running around doing fuck all for fuck all reason. I didn't really get it. There's this beautiful scene of stampeding animals just to show you how great the animation is. It just seemed like the animators fucking gave up at this point. There's a few other scenes like this, which again, it's nitpicking, but it's just like showing me that nobody fucking cared at this point to animate the show properly. I didn't think the characters were very compelling. They felt like, again, they felt just like kind of tropish. Yeah. Next one. What's next? This is C or D. I'm gonna put it in D tier. Management of a novice alchemist. So this is a moe slice of life girls about cute girls doing. I just said it wrong. Let me start over. Okay. Management of a novice alchemist is a cute girls doing cute capitalism slice of life. And I thought that sounded like a wonderful idea. Sounded like a wonderful show. But there's a few problems with it. So there is some pretty good animation there. I do like the art style, but these kind of shows are carried by the personality of the girls. And the girls were just not super interesting. So the main character, she's all right. She's your typical capitalist. But not really, because she's so overpowered, she can basically just magically generate value out of thin air. So where's the capitalism? There's no point in capitalism, then just give things to people for free. What are you doing? The second girl is cute, she's all right. And the other two just feel like they were there to take up space. They basically just were indebted to the main character and became her slaves. So yeah, it just wasn't a show that I thought really made a lot of sense in terms of the cuteness. It was all right, but there's a lot of good options for moe. There's a lot of fucking good options. So this show just didn't really make sense to me. So next up, I think, is it time? No, yes. Reincarnated as a sword. So we talked power fantasy a bit. It's another isekai power fantasy, kind of. So the twist from normal isekai is that the guy gets reincarnated into an animate object. He gets reincarnated into a sword. It's like, okay, all right. There's some nice fight scenes. Fran is a cute cat girl. There's some nice slice of life scenes. I like the big booba grandma elf. She was a very kind person. I just felt like it didn't do anything different from normal isekai. The one thing that was different was the sword part and having two main characters, which I thought was cool. But even the sword part, it's like at a certain point he just grows hands and he can cook and talk. So isn't he just a person, a sword-shaped person, really? So, and we just had so much isekai. Like if this came out a few years earlier, I think I'd be more positive about it. But just so much isekai. But definitely not a terrible show. So, yeah. All right, love flops, Renai flops. So this show tried to be the Madoka of harem rom-com. You got 5 girls, you got 1 guy. Sounds familiar? Yeah, it's like Quince. And they have, how to put it? The humor in this show is a little off-putting. It's ecchi, but it's like ecchi to the point where it's not even funny anymore. It's just, why are you doing this? And there's a big twist around the middle where the show explains this is why we were doing it. I'm gonna put a spoiler warning right now. It's a great twist. It's a great idea. Basically, he is actually in a simulation for a research department trying to understand what love is. These 5 girls are all AIs, but they're AIs modeled after his dead girlfriend. In fact, every AI in the world was modeled after his dead girlfriend, whose brain was uploaded by her fucking dad to keep her alive, I guess, more or less. And the reason he's in this program is because he's depressed and brokenhearted. So he sees his past love in each of these 5 girls, 5 AI girls. And it's hard for me to explain, but it really hit home. I don't know why. I was just fucking bawling my eyes out like when the reveal happened because it's just such a good twist. But I like the big ideas in this show, but I really did not like the execution. The only part I really liked execution for was the twist itself. Afterwards, it turned into this kind of heist plot where they're trying to go after basically one of the 5 AI girls goes rogue, and they're trying to reach out to her and basically get her back. And each of the girls ends up sacrificing themselves so that Asahi, the main character, is able to reach her. There's some really good shit here, but it didn't really it didn't feel romantic to me. It just, all the action, the whole plot felt very dissociated from romance. I wasn't super interested in it. The 5 girls are tropish by nature, that's the point. But it was a little too tropish. Like you gotta have something a little special in there, make them feel kind of real, even if the point is that they're tropish. So it's a difficult show to rank because so much of it was done on purpose, and yet I didn't like it. So I'm just gonna put it in C tier, even though I love the big idea, just the execution felt a little bit off. The main character himself is about as generic as a harem main character can get. So just in general, all the characters felt kind of empty. Just a great big idea, but yeah. Is it time for B tier? Did I miss anything? I think it's time. There's no, dude, no, I had more. I definitely more. yeah, I had more. Okay. Human Bug Daigaku, Human Crazy University. This is a show I actually really, really enjoyed, but it has one big problem, and if I play 5 seconds of it on the screen, you're gonna see what the fucking problem is. There's no fucking animation, or it's like bare minimum animation. You can barely even call it animation. It's like a PowerPoint almost. It's literally like, I could probably make this fucking animation in Premiere Pro using just pictures of the main characters. Well, no, I couldn't, but like almost. And then, but the story I thought was actually really good. So basically, Satake Hirofumi is what is known as an undead man, or by the story. So he is not able to die, and he finds himself on death row for murdering his fiancée. He survives the hanging, gets amnesia, and doesn't remember why he was put there in the first place. Falls out of a plane, journeys around the world, finds the truth, reunites with his fiancée, and they address the reason. I've already spoiled probably too much, but they address the reason that put him there in the first place. It's a great fucking story. It has all the weirdness of like a JoJo Part 2, which I fucking love, but without the stand battle, just being a good old-fashioned adventure. I thought the characters were good. I thought like, they're wacky, but they're nice characters. You got like the like sadist, like vigilante, you got the crazy doctor, you got the just weird dude who's also a bro, you got the fiance, you got Satake, and you have this guy, I'm not going to talk about what he does, but you got him too. And it's great. It's just a great show. Only problem is the animation, which we're talking about anime, bro. Can I really put it above C tier if it's not animated? The source material for this show is actually quite interesting. It's a YouTube manga series. And weirdly enough, I feel like the YouTube manga series has better animation than the fucking show did. If they just animated the show like they did the opening sequence, I think this would have been an easy, at least B tier. Like, it's just like, this is not the right medium. If you're not going to animate it, don't make it an anime. Just make it a manga. It would have been a great fucking manga, okay? Oh my God. Or just anything else. Just any. There's some good voice actors in here though, so there's that. So yeah, anyways. Next show. What's next? Probably down here. Okay. C. Donchi, Housing Complex C, is a 4-episode Lovecraftian horror combined with murder mystery. It's free to stream on Adult Swim, which is unique. I can only find the English dub available, which is questionable at times.
I want to have shaved ice.
As English dubs generally can be. But I really enjoyed the last episode of this show where kind of all the buildup comes crashing down into this tentacle god, like, I don't even know what to call it, just like this, like, it's just a Lovecraftian mess, isn't it? But it's really hard to get to that point. Even like yesterday when I tried to rewatch it, even though I knew that it was going to get to a part I enjoyed, that I remembered enjoying, those first 3 episodes, or just 2.5 episodes, are quite difficult to get through. The show really takes its fucking time with a lot of shit that doesn't feel important. I think, you know, if they can make it lead itself more to that final conclusion, to that final, like, last episode sequence, then I think it would be actually a pretty good show. But as it stands, I can't really put it above C tier. C for Housing Complex, C. Okay. But, you know, it's free. It's on Adult Swim, so might as well try it. Okay. I think we're here now. Bibliophile Princess is a show I thought I'd like because it's Josei romance, and I did like it. I do like it. Wasn't my favorite show of all time, but thought it was well done. The art is nice, music's nice, characters feel like real people. So, everything is pretty well done. The story is about the Bibliophile Princess, who's just kind of a low-ranking noble who loves reading. Her whole family loves reading. And one day, 4 years ago, the crown prince of the nation asks her to marry him. And he tries to play it off as if it's for political reasons. And he's like, hey, you marry me, you can use that royal library as much as you want all the time. I won't bother you at all. And surprise, surprise, he actually has feelings for her. It's just a wholesome romance, isn't it? This whole time she's doubting whether he actually has feelings for her, and she's slowly getting feelings for him. And you got court politics. And it's a good show. I think it's just a straight up good show. I just wouldn't put it above B tier because it doesn't really push any boundaries or anything, but I did enjoy it. I think it's worth a try. You know, that first arc was where I kind of spoiled it just a bit already, but where she doesn't know what's going on. And then you find out kind of at the end exactly why he's been kind of aloof to her, why he was talking to this other girl in the beginning. It's all very nice. So yeah. Okay. Next one is The Little Lies We All Tell. Where is it? I know I'm putting this one next. Okay, here we go. All right. The Little Lies We All Tell. Yonin something. I can't speak Japanese properly. This is a show that's a little weird. It's a sitcom about 4 normal girls who aren't normal at all. You got the alien general stranded on Earth. You got the ninja girl who left her clan, ran away from her clan. You got a telepath who can only read the minds of other girls. And you got a crossdresser who was forced into doing it by his big sister. Okay. It's wholesome. It's funny. There's friendship, and the friendship is nice. I like the friendship a lot. Sometimes a show is more weird than funny. It's fucking hard to wrap your head around sometimes, or hard to wrap your head around why they thought it'd be funny. Maybe they didn't. Maybe just wanted to be weird. But overall, I enjoyed it. Not the funniest show I've ever watched, but it's a unique one. And some jokes that really gave me a nice belly laugh. So yeah, I'm just putting B tier. Is it time? Oh man, we're getting there. Yes. Urusei Yatsura. So I kind of already have a video on this, but it's just me talking gibberish for 15 minutes, saying why I don't understand the show. But now I do understand the show. So back then, I still did not understand really what the word moe meant. You look online, you see it translated kind of to cute, but then also people saying that it doesn't really mean cute. It doesn't really make sense, and apparently there's no English word for it. But what moe really means isn't just something being cute. It's that infatuation you feel from that cuteness. So for instance, you see like a cute puppy and you just feel that like warm, tender feeling in your heart. That's moe, probably. Maybe not, but probably. And for us weebs, otakus, whatever you want to call us, when we look at an anime character and just immediately feel those kinds of like emotions, for the most part, especially if it's an anime girl, that's moe. And it's so interesting how moe has changed over the years, because when I look at Lum, our alien princess Lum, she doesn't look super moe to me anymore. I mean, now she does, now that I watch the show, I can kind of see it, but at first glance, she doesn't resemble the kind of moe we know as like a K-On! Or like even a Bocchi, or even like, let's say like Evangelion girls, right? Just like anime waifus. Like when you think that look, you go to like the AI pic, like you go to some anime picture generator, you go look for some waifu pics, like that is basically what moe is. But Lum doesn't really look moe in that sense. But she is. And you watch the opening to Urusei Yatsura, and it's kind of like the whole show in a nutshell. So when you feel that moe, when you feel that infatuation for somebody, all you see, all you think about is that person. And I should probably talk about the show. So it's kind of a sitcom, kind of romantic comedy, not like super romantic, about alien princess Lum and scumbag Ataru. So just piece of shit person Ataru. And Lum likes Ataru for God knows why, but she does. She's in love with him. And watching it for a bit can be kind of hard because you don't like Ataru. You don't want to be this guy. You don't want to do what he's doing. You don't feel happy watching him. But I realize the point of this, maybe not intentionally, but like what I feel when I watch it is that it makes me feel sympathy for Lum. It makes me feel like she likes him and he's treating her like shit. Damn, girl, I could treat you better. It just magnifies that moe you already feel. And it's a very unique feeling. It's not one I'd really search out for intentionally, but I did enjoy the show overall. So yeah, it's definitely worth a try, especially if you don't know what moe is. Give the show a try. Try to enjoy it, because the only way you can enjoy the show is if you understand how it's moe. Because I'll say that like without the moe, the comedy, the characters, the setting, it's all like eh. The animation's very good, but like it's all just kind of eh. When you wrap that stuff together in a nice gift box of moe, it's pretty good. So okay. To Your Eternity, Season 2. Oh man, does it feel wrong to put it in B tier? Man, I mean, it just feels fucking wrong. But Season 1 of To Your Eternity is a landmark fucking show in anime, probably. That first episode, each fucking arc basically had me in fucking tears. The whole thing felt like an investigation of what it means to be human. What do human relationships look like? You know, human brother, or mother, brother, grandfather, grandma, friends, that stuff. And it's simple stuff, but the show does it so well. And Season 2 comes along, and our immortal rock person, Fushi, is pretty disillusioned with the world. And I think that disillusionment definitely bled into the show in a way it didn't like really know to properly handle. Season 2 deals with a lot more complicated topics like being horny and just morally gray characters in general. And because of that stuff combined with that disillusionment Fushi's feeling, it just made the characters feel less compelling. The most compelling characters in Season 2 were the characters from Season 1, which is kind of fucking sad in a way. Except for Bond. Bond is cool. Bond is a cool character. I thought Bond was pretty well done. But Season 2 definitely also felt like it dragged a little bit. I do like how they play around with Fushi's powers more. I like the suicide teleportation, because I was literally thinking, like, can't he do that now? And then they just fucking pulled it out. I was like, yeah, of course he fucking can. That was cool. But definitely not the same level of like emotional kind of connection as season 1. But definitely still a good show. And if season 3 ever comes, I think it's gonna be a banger because we got Fushi in the modern day. And what's that gonna look like? That's gonna be insane. But yeah, season 2, it was good. It was good. I'll say it's good, but I don't think much more than that. Alrighty. Do It Yourself. Another show that feels wrong to put in B tier because just how freaking good the animation is, just how freaking good the art style is. But man, for me, this show did not do a lot more than K-On! Just did not do a ton more. Even though on paper, when I explain it, I think it's probably gonna sound like it does a lot more. So it's another moe slice of life show. This time, it's about cute girls doing cute DIY, cute girls building cute things. And the setting is some amount of years in the future where you can 3D print anything, you can manufacture anything. There's never a reason to build anything yourself. And yet these girls, they find meaning doing something inherently meaningless. And I fucking love that theme. But I don't know, maybe I just don't like moe slice of life that much. I don't know. But it just felt like this show didn't really push a lot of boundaries. The characters do have some nice character arcs. I like the Gaijin arc with where she remembers how much she loved doing DIY with her mother. I like the arc with the childhood friend who turned into a bitch, but then slowly gets reunited with Yuwa Serefu, which is such a silly pun. Totally not Yui Hirisawa, but yeah, I mean, it's a good show. It was a great show for just if I had a shit day at work, a shitty, grueling day at work, my head is hurting, just plop on the couch, put this on, just feel that nice moe numbness overtake me. But the thing is, now that I quit my job, I feel a lot better about my life. And just like this show is just, it's like, it's good. It's definitely good. It's just, I think not really what I'm, at least right now, what I'm kind of looking for, generally speaking. So it's very pure moe. That's all I'm going to say. Is it time? Is it? No? Yes? Okay. Futoku no Guild, the hentai show of the season. I had rock bottom expectations for this show because in the past, the hentai shows of the season have all really, really sucked, especially the one I'm going to put on the screen there. But this one surprised me because it starts off kind of slow. I didn't really like Hitamuki. That's not really like the kind of like stuff I'm into. And the jokes weren't super funny. And then they take another episode to introduce 2 more characters. But by the 3rd episode, it started getting some actual laughs from me. And I realized this is just Konosuba but sex jokes. And Konosuba but sex jokes is a good thing. And it's just really funny. It's just really fucking funny, isn't it? Toxico, so the black-haired girl who's totally not Megumin, she literally is Megumin. She does the whole thing where she can't control her magic well. She's funny. She's the GOAT. She carries this show, but not by herself because the other characters they do turn it up. They get. I ended up quite liking all the characters, and it's funny, and sex jokes, and there's also this like fight sequence that just left me like it was jaw dropping to me that this hentai show got this animation. Why? Why does this? I mean, it was great. It just left me totally shocked for like 20 seconds. But clearly, like the animators, they put some love into this thing, and I think it turned out pretty good. Best way to watch this, definitely one hand on a box of tissues, and another on. Yeah. Okay, next show. Is it time? Is it time? I think it's time. Is it time? No, it's not time yet. JoJo Stone Ocean, the final part. I'm just going to rate all of Stone Ocean. All of Stone Ocean. So I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a JoJo fan. For me, Stone Ocean was kind of like Stardust Crusaders, where the middle really dragged a lot. And the setting is darker, it's gloomier, which isn't a bad thing, but it felt like we were stuck in there for so long without really much to look forward to. That being said, I do think the last part of Stone Ocean is by far the best. It's just hype. It's just hype. The fights were good. You know, we got backstory for Pucci and Weather Report. That was great too. So it was good. But again, JoJo's all right. JoJo's all right. It's good. It's good. I wouldn't put it above that for me. I'm gonna regret saying this, aren't I? Fuck. Oh man. My Hero Academia Season 6. This one feels even worse to put here than JoJo, but see, when I made this tier list a year ago, I put it in A tier. I put it quite high in A tier because I felt so many emotions when I watched Season 6 of My Hero Academia. On my other channel, I have a video of me basically breaking down over Twice dying, breaking down into tears. It's not a reaction video, it's just I tried to talk about it, and every time I tried to come up with words, I would just cough up tears instead. But that being said, when I try to rewatch it now, it's so sad to say, but I don't feel the same way I did. And I think a big reason for that is that My Hero is a story predicated on the premise that being a hero is awesome. Everybody definitely wants to be a hero. Why wouldn't you want to be a hero? And now that we have shows like Frieren going into self-reflection in a way shows haven't really before, and we have Jujutsu Kaisen like doing a similar kind of thing in a traditional shonen environment, trying to go back to My Hero, it's just like why? Why you want to be a hero so bad, bro? I mean, I'm sure if I like maybe rewatch from the beginning or maybe just a bit further back, I would buy into it again. But just trying to jump right back in Season 6, I just couldn't buy it anymore. I just can't buy it. So it makes me sad. But yeah, it's B tier for me. Oh baby, it's time. No, it's not time yet. Okay. Iruma-kun Season 3. So to me, Season 1 of Iruma-kun is an A tier. Season 2 Iruma-kun is an S tier. Season 3 was good. It had some good moments, but it didn't have the same emotional highs as Season 1 and 2. Didn't have the same kind of character writing as Seasons 1 and 2. And the Torment arc felt like it dragged on for a little bit too long. A lot of people complain about this season how it focuses more on Iruma's classmates than Iruma himself. I don't think that's really the problem. It's the way that the story focused on his classmates. Instead of kind of going into like more character writing, like more character arcs, like asking them questions about themselves, or it kind of just went into more shonen style power-ups, like she's the ice queen of the beasts now kind of deal. And that stuff is cool, but it's not really what I come to Iruma for. And yeah, it just felt like it felt like it was dragging things out to do this, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But that being said, it was still a good show. I still enjoyed it, and still had some really nice moments. So I did like Iruma's tutor. I can't remember her name. I want to say it's Betty, but I don't think it's actually Betty. So yeah. All right, Romantic Killer, first A tier. So this is a harem rom-com. Really, it's an Otome game show. So our main character is Anzu, who is this gremlin gamer girl. One day opens this dating sim game only to find this purple wizard furball come out and be like, I'm gonna force you to make romantic relationships. And she's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to play video games. And he's like, I'm gonna take that all away and force you to do it. And if you really think about it, it's kind of not cool. It's kind of not cool that he did that. But the show plays off of that. But the show plays it off as a joke, and it's okay, it's fine. And she seems fine with it at the end. And I think that's actually kind of a big theme for the show, which is unwanted romantic attraction. So with Anzu in the beginning, it's played off as a joke, but we also get our main boy, Kazuki. And with Kazuki, it's serious. It's serious. He seriously does not want it from other female classmates, and he's been traumatized by a stalker in his past. So for a while, the show kind of just walks through standard harem rom-com stuff because the wizard is trying to make Anzu's life a dating sim game, basically. But eventually it starts talking about this unwanted romantic attraction theme, like more seriously. It goes into dealing with Kazuki's stalker. It goes into Anzu's best friend, also dealing with it, dealing with assault, dealing with harassment. And it gets very serious, and I just think it's something that shows need to talk about more, and it talks about it in a very good way, in a very moving way. Throughout the whole show, Anzu she's just a fucking giga chat. The more you watch, the more you realize, like, she deserves the harem. And that's why I like reverse harem shows in general, because when the girl deserves a harem, it's just a fucking nice watch. It's almost like moe in a sense that, like, you get infatuated with the character, but it's not because of like cuteness or like physical features or just like little expressions. It's because the personality of the person is sick. And Anzu's just a great character. The way she talks, you can just tell the way she talks. She's truly empathetic, truly kind, and that's the stuff I like in fucking romance, baby. So, yeah, romance being, you know, like this kind of deep connection with somebody else. But I almost forgot about Beast Tamer. Oh man. So it might feel weird to put it in A tier, but I truly enjoyed Beast Tamer. And I think when people think about this show, they misunderstand what it's about. People see it as kind of like Rising of the Shield Hero. You got this main character guy who has a totally shit skill of beast taming, but it's actually totally overpowered because he can tame basically anything. There's no limits to what he can tame. Just like there's no limits to what Naofumi can consider a shield, you know? You know, if you expected this to be like a serious story, like the way Shield Hero was, then you're going to be disappointed. And I think the way the show animates itself, or the way the studio animated it, it's pretty clear that the studio knows exactly what it wants the show to be about. It wants it to be about the cute girls, the cute waifus, the cute monster girls. And a moe monster girl slice of life show is just what I fucking need, baby. I don't think we have one of those. I can't think of one. I can only think of Monster Girl Ecchi, but this is just more wholesome, like a little bit of fan service here and there, but like for the most part, just wholesome slice of life. And I enjoyed it a lot. There's a bit of a plot, but that plot is only there to make the girls shine. It's not actually there for any, like, to tell a story. You don't care about the story. And they just hit every note right with these girls, with the, I don't know, with the personalities, with the characterization, with the character designs. Every note is right, and every new girl feels like a valuable addition. And in the end, you know, they end up together living in a house with a cute, like, ghost maid. And I think it's clear exactly what the show is. And I think it does it so freaking well. I think it does it really well. And you gotta admire a show that knows what it wants and only focuses resources on what it wants, because you got a fight scene because the light novel had a fight scene, but like fuck no, nobody cares about that shit. Just fucking rush through it. Just give it some like half-ass animation. That's fine. That's totally fine in my book. So yeah, good show. It's a good show. I would not regret watching it again. All right. Okay. Eminence in Shadow. The best power fantasy show I've ever watched in my entire life. So the thing with regular power fantasy shows is after you watched enough of them, doesn't feel like there's any, it doesn't feel powerful anymore. It just feels like they've toned down the world to easy mode, you know? And the thing about Eminence and Shadow is that it puts a lot of effort into its world. It puts a lot of effort into the kind of like power scaling of the other characters and like their stories and all of that. Only for Sid to come down with his giant freaking dong and just whack it all to pieces, baby. It's set it up to tear it down, and it feels good. It feels fucking good. I know it's not good for me. I know it's junk food, but man, is it fucking gourmet junk food on a golden plate, on a cruise in the Bahamas. It is some good shit. And we don't get enough we don't get enough good power fantasy. And this is good power fantasy. I think it goes out of its way to make you feel cool, make the show feel cool, make everything about it be cool. The rule of cool overrides all, I think, especially in anime. And I don't think there's much more I need to really say about that. Do I need to say anything? No, let's just go on. Let's just go on. Yeah, Eminence and Shadow, I'll put it above. All right, Spy X Family. So Spy X Family is a show where I can open it up to any random episode, any scene, and just be like, I remember that scene, kind of, and I like it. I liked it. I remember liking it a lot. I say this because this is what I did when I tried to remember what the fuck happened, because just like if I don't rewatch, like, yesterday when I was trying to think about what actually happened to Spy X Family, couldn't really remember a ton besides the tennis match, but I reopened it. It was like, yeah, like that scene with the like potato head kid, or I don't even know what, like the triangle head kid, where he's like, this is his last day on Earth, last day in school, and they're all trying to treat him well, and then he comes in and he's actually totally fine. He can go to school still. Like that was just funny. There's just a lot of good scenes. You got like was it like Lloyd's, is his sister? Not the white, no, his coworker. You got Lloyd's coworker. You got Anya. I mean, just Anya. It's just cute. It's just wholesome. It's just the whole show is just very well done. It's not like it never like really wows me in the way some of the shows above it do. Never really sticks out to me in a way I know I'm going to remember like for the rest of my life kind of deal. But the whole thing is good. You just open it up. You feel good about yourself. You watch it. It's nice. I don't think I need to say, yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. Good show, good story, good parents. All right, we're so close to the end. Akiba Maid War. So this, the thing about satire is that it plays it serious, but it also plays it stupid at the same time. If you want it to be a serious show, a serious, compelling narrative, it's got that. If you want it to just be a big joke the whole time, it's also that too. And because it's really both at the same time, and that's kind of magical. So the premise is, what if maid cafes were run by the Yakuza? There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of violence. There's one very disillusioned, one very optimistic, then disillusioned, then optimistic pig girl again. And it's a nice story. It's a ridiculous story. It's an absurd story, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. The blood, the gore, the violence never stopped being shocking to me, for better or worse. But I think it's the type of show you just need to try, see if you like it, because you'll know in like the first episode whether you like it or not. It's pretty much just the same thing all the way through. Some people thought like after the first few episodes it stops trying to be a comedy and tries to be more serious, but to me it was really always an equal 50-50 split the whole time. So just give it a go. I'm not gonna just give it a fucking go. All right, Blue Lock. Blue Lock is a show last year that to me was like some galaxy brain shit. Teamwork being the product of individual desire. I help you to help me. And also hard work, like blind hard work not being necessarily a good thing. It's another theme I also liked. These weren't like necessarily new themes, but I don't think we've seen them explored in anime, and certainly not like this. And it explores them in a very like convincing, and a very logical, and a very even like, I just say compelling, I use the word a lot, but just compelling way. last year, I think I put this in S tier even. The thing is, now when I go back and watch it, the flaws of the show stick out a bit more to me. So it's still hype. I still love the character moments. I will never forget Shigiri breaking off his chains, or Isagi's first goal, or just the bromance between, you know, our two best boys. But I do think the animation is a little static. You know, you do have some scenes where you get that bird's eye view and they're running and they're playing soccer, but a lot of the scenes are actually kind of like almost static images, which is kind of a style adopted by a number of shows like JoJo as well, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think if it could have been a little more dynamic, instead of so like close up all the time, I would have enjoyed that more. But definitely a good show, definitely a hype show, definitely a unique show. It's, you know, the first sports anime I think that really like asks these, or like goes into these very obvious truths that anybody who has played a ball sport knows. You know, you want to fucking score. Why do other ball sports try to pretend like that's not a thing? Like that's a bad thing even. It's not a bad thing. Scoring is good. Yeah. Is it time? It's time, baby. No, one more. All right, Bleach. That was your Blood War arc. Oh man. So there's a part of me that will never not be a little middle school Bleach fanboy. I remember just seeing Ichigo self-reflect and then pull out a new power-up out of his ass and just be the sickest thing ever. And that was back in a time when I didn't even know what self-reflection was, but it was just so cool. And I love still how Bleach is able to have the power-up that comes from self-reflection, from Ichigo's own self-reflection, kind of be a metaphor for it. So, for instance, in the end of Blood War, like part 1, he has 2 Zanpakuto because both were true, baby. Both were fucking true. And as much as Jujutsu Kaisen is probably a better Bleach, like better Bleach 2.0, because other characters besides the maid one also get to self-reflect, and Bleach, only Ichigo really gets to pretend to be a human. What Jujutsu Kaisen doesn't do is have the battles really correspond to some kind of metaphor for that internal struggle. The battle, the fight, death might cause some kind of internal conflict, but it's never as correlated one-to-one for better or worse. But in Bleach, the Zanpakuto means something. It is your soul. It's a personification, or I shouldn't say personification, but it's a metaphor for your soul. And I always thought that was really cool. So a lot of people really like the invasion part of Blood War. To me, I didn't really like it that much. It just felt like characters being mowed down in the streets like degenerates by insanely overpowered Quincy bullshit that shouldn't be in the show. It felt like it was breaking the rules of Bleach, more or less. I wanted to see some fucking Bankai, baby. That's not Bankai. You're just cheating, bro. That's not cool. Which is fine. I think for me, the series started to take life again, starting with Yamamoto versus the Quincy King, because, oh baby, oh baby, that's a fight. That's a fucking anime fight. It was insane. It was insane. It was an insane fight. And then we got Kenpachi versus Unohana, which was a sick character moment, also a sick fight. But what really made the series stand out to me this time around was still that self-reflection. So I always love Bleach's training arcs because that's where we get a lot of that. And this was no exception. I really enjoyed the training arc we got this time around. I enjoyed the comedy because we don't get as much comedy in shonen anymore. You know, it's always trending towards dark shonen now. We got Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, that kind of stuff, Hell's Paradise, but just some good old comedy. I miss that shit. I miss that shit, bro. He does a training arc and he can't get his Zanpakuto, and he's left in this state of basically, not exactly an existential crisis, but as close as we're going to ever get in Bleach. And then he learns the truth of his parents, and that's just like such a nice moment. Such a nice idea, because in real life, learning the history of your parents, to me, it's always a big deal. You know, even now, I don't really, I think, understand what my parents went through back then. And the flashback of Ichigo's parents, it was just so good, bro. I think it's the first real romance we've had in Bleach, and I'm a fucking sucker for romance, and I felt like they pulled it off really well because there's nothing like seeing your bae blast off the face of a hollow after taking a bite on the shoulder intentionally. That was just like, oh man, dude, she's the fucking one. You fucking go, Ishin. You get that. You get that girl. You know, both were real. I know it's cheesy. I know there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way Kubo planned it this far, but both were real. It's just sick, dude. I'm just fanboying right now, but it was such a sick moment. And you got the classic Bleach music playing. You got the whole ocean evaporating. It's just, I haven't watched part 2 yet, but I'm definitely gonna give it a look at some point. Just been stuck, you know, I'm trying to make these videos, but yeah. Oh man, dude, it was fucking hype. Oh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Gundam Witch from Mercury. This is a good show. This is undoubtedly a good show. I'm including part 2 in here as well when I talk about it. So everybody knows Gundam is about giant big robots and politics, and that's exactly what we got. Giant big robots with beam swords and politics and gay girls. And it just did everything it wanted to do and it got the fuck out. And I can fucking respect that. The giant robot battles were awesome. The themes of, you know, like forgiveness and revenge and children becoming the future and space capitalism and race war, like all of these ideas I thought were like well done. There's a lot in this show. The characters are all really nice. I wouldn't say they go super deep in most characters, but yeah, I mean, just such a big, wide world. And in part 2, they break free of kind of that like that safe school environment. It becomes kind of goes into just crazy mode. Not like super crazy, but really sets itself. They're free. So I think it's just a good show. It's just a good show. Just worth a watch. You know, it's my first Gundam, unless you count watching snippets on Toonami like when you're 4 years old. I just thought it was really well done. So, yeah. All right, we're finally in the S tier. Okay, More Than a Married Couple, Less Than Lovers is one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. I'm just I don't know if I should put an S here, but I'm just such a sucker for rom-com. And I feel like this show does so much right. So the premise is admittedly a little weird. It's some like hentai shit. The premise is school organized marriage practicum. So you got assigned couples by the school who have to live together, pretending they're married, and then are graded by this automated system somehow about how well their marriage is going. It's almost some like dystopian shit, but like and it sounds like a recipe for spicy fucking drama, but the whole thing is just fucking good vanilla romance. So there's a love polygon going on, because of course there is. You got the main character, you got the Gyaru, you got the childhood friend, you got the school hot guy, and you got the lesbian girl. So the main character likes his childhood friend, who also likes him. The Gyaru likes the hot guy. We don't know what the hot guy is really doing in his brain. And the lesbian girl likes the childhood friend, so this girl. Every character is just very, very likable and just hits it just hits every note right. Every episode hits those romantic feelings in a way that I think a lot of shows struggle to do. It's easy on paper, but just so many shows aren't able to do it in the right kind of way, I think. And if that was all the show was, I'd probably only put it in A tier, but I love the mystery box aspect because we never know what's really going on in the brain of the hot guy until the very end. And that scene where it's revealed, we got Akari, the Gyaru, sitting with him under the gazebo, just talking. And that was just a great scene. Again, just every bit of the show is just so fucking romantic, and we get the reveal, and it's not what I expected, but looking back, it makes so much sense. And It's sad, and oh man, it just brings a tear to my eye thinking about it. But I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not gonna say it. But I couldn't even give it justice, I think, if I did say it. But yeah, I think definitely, there's a bit of ecchi, there's a bit of fan service, but it's never really over the top. There's a bit of spice, but just not enough to where it's like it's no domestic girlfriend. It's I don't know. Let's go on. Oh man. All right. We're here, baby. We're here, fucking finally. Chainsaw Man. Oh, when I first watched Chainsaw Man last year, I was disappointed because God knows there was way too much fucking hype. There was an unreachable amount of hype for this show. It was never going to fucking reach it. And the thing is, when I have really high expectations for a show, especially when they're imposed on me by other people, it makes it harder for me to appreciate the show for what it is. It also didn't help that I was watching this weekly, because just watching things weekly, I think it just makes it worse, generally speaking, depending on the show. But for this kind of show, it definitely does for me. But I went back and rewatched it a bit, and it's kind of like Spy X Family, where I open any scene, any episode, and just some like raw dog shit is going on. Like, fucking, I open up the scene to Kobeni just losing her fucking mind about apologizing to Denji for trying to kill him. I'm just like, dude, that's fucking raw, bro. That's some shit. Some Quentin Tarantino shit. The whole show is like that all the way through. The scariest part is like this whole season 1 has just felt like a prologue. It isn't to say that nothing happened, but it reminds me of that first bit of Bleach where Ichigo is just learning how to be a substitute Shinigami. In Chainsaw Man right now, we barely begun to see what Makima is up to. This whole season 1, it just felt like a build up to finding out what Makima is doing. We still don't know. And we haven't seen anything about the Gundam. We just have these little bits and pieces. And yes, Himeno dies, and that's fucking a big deal. But like, that's pretty much the biggest deal, I'd say, in season 1 so far, or just overall. We got these other characters. We got like Angel, who I just see manga readers geeking over Angel. I don't know why, because he hasn't done anything yet, right? And I just know it's gonna be something special. Just not yet. But we're gonna look back, and it's gonna be like, I was there for Chainsaw Man season 1. I was there when the entire anime community exploded, and then was fucking disappointed. But now looking back, it feels so silly. So something like that. That's what it's gonna be. Yeah, man, it's just so fucking raw, dude. I just don't know how to explain it besides that. Oh man, it's just. Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. Mob is the kind of show I am going to show my kids and my grandkids when I want to when I want to teach them what it means to be a good person, help them become a better person, help them grow up. Mob to me is that perfect, like quintessential coming of age story. And seeing it end was something special, for sure. My favorite arc in season 3 actually wasn't Mob's arc, actually wasn't Dimple's arc. Both of those were fucking great. But it was the Telepathy Club mini arc, just only 2 episodes. To me, one of the big themes of Mob is that every individual has value. So I didn't expect this arc for these characters, but it's so thematic for it to even exist, because these characters, they all fucking matter. Every person matters, right? It's got everything I think is special about Mob except for fighting. It's the only part that's really missing. But to me, Mob was never really about the combat. I know, like, yes, the season 2 had a lot of hype fights, but to me, it was never really about that. It was about the character writing, and man, does this arc have some fucking good character writing. So the premise is that Tome, who is the president of the Telepathy Club, they're graduating soon, and for all 3 years they've been in middle school, they've never done the things they wanted to do, and she's feeling that existential regret about it. And she brings it up to the club, and they don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And I felt her fucking pain in that moment, because that's how I feel, I think, for YouTube, for some degree. Because I can't explain why I need to do this. Why I need to fucking quit my job to do this. Why I'm stuck here in my fucking basement, this fucking green screen. Why I'm doing all this shit. It doesn't, even to myself, it doesn't make sense. And they didn't get it. And it fucking hurts when people don't get it. But Mob and all of them, they work together to make it up to her. And it's just such a beautiful thing. Like, true friendship is just such a nice thing. They make it up to her by trying to call down aliens, to taking the club work seriously. And of course, there are no aliens. They're never gonna fucking call down aliens, but they're going at it as hard as they fucking can, because it fucking matters. And the whole time they're in the car going up to the mountain, she's pissed at them, because of course she is. Of course she's fucking pissed. 3 years of being with these idiots, and they didn't understand how she felt about this club. You also have Takinaka coming in, who's also getting his own little arc, and it's just so many emotions all at once. Anyways, they climb that summit, they climb that peak, they do that ritual for something that will probably not work, and it doesn't work, but that's okay, because, you know, they never did it really to find aliens. They did it to make their friend feel better, to show her that they cared. And then the aliens do fucking come. It's just beautiful. I mean, there's no word for it besides that. It's such a have your cake and eat it too moment. They go through all that bittersweet character drama at the end, because that's important. That's really the important part of the story. But then they're like, you know, let's get a happy ending on top. It just does it right. It just does everything right. It's one of my favorite arcs in Mob. It might be my favorite. I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. But it's just such a nice arc. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going. Seasons of anime come and go. We obviously have 4 a year. And there are plenty of seasons that pass where not a single show is a 10 out of 10 for me. To me, a 10 out of 10 is a show that reverberates, that resonates with my soul in a way that almost becomes part of my identity, which sounds like a bit much. Sounds like I'm just saying shit. But sometimes that's what happens, and it's rare. And the thing about fall 2022 was that there wasn't just one show that did this for me. There were two. And man, I've waited a fucking year to talk about these. Oh man, dude. It's really hard for me to decide which one I like more, because they're such different shows. And it's really a day-to-day thing, and a recency bias thing, and just how I'm feeling, just how I'm doing. But I'm going to talk about Bocchi first. So, on paper, Bocchi the Rock is K-On! Plus social anxiety. You got cute girls starting a band in high school. But the thing is, the social anxiety part changes everything. This changes everything. If you're the kind of person watching a fucking anime tier list by some unknown anituber, me, you probably have seen Bocchi memes. There's no way you fucking haven't. And it's insane how much Bocchi has taken over the internet. I mean, yes, for the last few months, it's definitely slowed down. Other things have come into fashion, but just for how long Bocchi was such a big part of the internet. And Bocchi still has not died. We still have people making Bocchi memes, posting Bocchi analysis. And to me, the genius of Bocchi the Rock is unmatched. I don't know if it will ever be matched again. Even if we get a season 2, I don't know if it can live up to season 1 as much as, of course I'd love it to, right? So what makes we've had shows about social anxiety. We've had Komi, we've had Hitori Bocchi, there's plenty of other ones. But what makes Bocchi special is how crippling her social anxiety is and how much the anime gets you to understand it. How well the animation intertwines itself with the story to just make you fucking get it. You get that Bocchi is you for real, for real. And man, it makes every single step she takes into overcoming that feel like such a giant leap. One giant leap for all of the anime community. Bocchi feels like our collective daughter. And you know, it don't matter how little a step your daughter takes, because she your fucking daughter, and man, you just want to fucking cheer. You see Bocchi get on that stage, you see her fucking face her fears, it's just fucking inspirational. A lot of people talk about how good the animation is for Bocchi. And sometimes when people say good animation, they think more frames, more sakuga, more movement, more flashy animation. And Bocchi is flashy, and there is sakuga. But that's not really what makes the animation for Bocchi special. For me, it's how much every frame means, how much information is packed into every single gag, how much it just fits the occasion. Because not every gag in Bocchi is Bocchi turning into a Tsuchinoko, is Bocchi phasing in and out of reality, is Bocchi having a psychedelic episodes where she's surfing in the Bahamas. Not every gag is like that, yet every gag feels probably as meaningful as that. And it's clear, Bocchi was clearly created by a team of people who fucking get social anxiety. The creativity is just insane. It's just fucking insane. I don't know if it can ever be repeated. But the only way they could have made it in the first place is because they really fucking get it. Bocchi is that indie game that was never supposed to go fucking viral, but people poured their fucking heart and soul into it, and it went fucking viral, baby. It's fucking Undertale, but anime. And man, Bocchi is something special. I don't know if we'll ever see another Bocchi, but I don't think the world will. I don't think the world will ever. Well, I can't even speak right now. I don't think the world will ever forget. I don't think the world will ever forget Bocchi, because social anxiety is not a thing that's ever really going to go away. It's probably just going to keep getting worse. And Bocchi is here for all of us. She's here as kind of like this almost spiritual mascot. She has become this symbol, and it's fucking beautiful. The whole thing is beautiful. Just so much. Bocchi, like, oh man. Watching Bocchi makes me understand why I love anime. What makes anime so special? It's that endless amount of creativity you can get to just express yourself in an endless variety of ways. And you can feel that even just as a viewer, not even as somebody not even drawing it. I wish I could draw it, but yeah, Bocchi is, I think Bocchi is something special for sure. Yeah, man. So I'm putting Raven of the Inner Palace above Bocchi on the tier list. You know, tier lists are inherently bullshit. They change day to day. People's opinions are never really the same from one month to the next, or they can change drastically. But oh man, Raven of the Inner Palace is probably a show you haven't even heard of. It's kind of a detective series set in ancient China about the Raven consort who has mystical powers. She can like talk to ghosts and send them to paradise, and the Emperor of China. All this probably sounds similar to Apothecary Diaries, which is airing this season, but I don't think the shows could be more different in terms of what they actually feel like. So in Apothecary Diaries, it's kind of about following clever chains of logic and preventing death before it can occur. Having Mao determine what the poison is and get the proper treatment for the patient before they die. In Raven, we only deal with cases where somebody has already died. This story is about sending lost souls to paradise, but it's about more than just that as well. It's about the kind of regret that can never really be fixed. It's about the kind of regret that all you can really do is ask for forgiveness in front of a ghost that may or may not really exist. And the presence of supernatural powers and ghosts might make it seem like the show would be dissociated from reality, but I really don't think it is. Weirdly, it isn't at all. There's plenty of shows that have forgiveness as a very big theme. For instance, Witch from Mercury. But the thing that makes Raven special is how it's this kind of continuous cycle of regret, forgiveness, and catharsis. In a lot of shows where forgiveness is a thing, it's one big regret or one big revenge at the start of the show and one big catharsis or one big forgiveness at the end. And that's not the case in Raven. Everybody has a horrific, sad sob story, which might make it seem melodramatic, but to me it feels real. It feels fitting. I don't know how they did it, but somehow they did. I think for me, there's something really special about investigating this kind of regret. It's a show that feels like group therapy, but I am so fucking for it. And you would think that with the amount of times they repeat the cycle over and over in the show, it would get boring, it would get repetitive, but there's just an infinite number of ways to have regret in a way that cannot never be truly fixed. And it feels like each time another character is forgiven or finds what they're looking for, self-reflects and just becomes okay again, it feels like the world gets a little bit better. And I like that the two main characters, so the Raven Consort, Jusetsu, and the Emperor of China, Gao Jun, I mixed up the pronunciations there, but they themselves are also very broken people, and seeing them gradually just heal and come together and just feels really fucking good. The show has excellent dialogue, as a light novel always should. I think if a light novel has bad dialogue, something has gone horribly wrong. It's not quite Monogatari tier, but there's some lines I fucking love. So my favorite line is this one. I'm just gonna play it right now. And actually, let me explain it. So my favorite line is this one where the two of them talk about not knowing what a friend means, what it means to be a friend, but saying that he'll reach around blindly to try to find out anyways. I love the dynamic between these two. I love the chemistry. I love the romantic tension. The show just has a lot going for it. The animation isn't Bocchi. It's nothing really special or flashy, but they somehow, in every single scene, they find a way to make you feel it makes you feel the proper emotions, even if it's not flashy. It doesn't have the same maybe resources as maybe a Chainsaw Man, but you feel that pain, you feel that regret, you feel the trauma, and every little bit is transmitted. You feel that pain, you feel that trauma. And it all really comes across through the animation, through the voices, through the storytelling. And kind of like Bocchi, I don't really have a word for it besides I just think it's a beautiful show. And I think even just watching the first 2 episodes, you'll probably get a gist pretty quickly of whether it's something you'll like, but I think it's really something special. All right, that is my, oh my God, that is my fall 2022 tier list. A year in the waiting, maybe in the making, kind of. Been thinking about it on and off, definitely, but I hope you enjoyed. I don't think I'll ever force myself to watch this many anime in a single season. Back when I did do that, like last year, I also made it a thing where I told myself I would only rank anime that I finished. I would only give my opinion if I finish a show, because to me, it feels like bullshit if a YouTuber gives their fucking opinion on a show they haven't even finished yet. At this point, I think I'm a little more okay with it because it's, that's life. Sometimes people just say their opinions. It's not that big a deal. But for this tier list, I did really force myself to finish every single fucking show. And it was, man, I don't think I'll do it again, but I did really find a lot of shows and a lot of things about shows that I would have never finished that I really appreciated. So like the twists in Love Flops, the ending to Shinobi no Ittoki, Urusei Yatsura, I never would have understood Moe if I just dropped it. Little Lies ended up being comedy that I would have dropped early as well because it's just fucking weird, but I ended up enjoying it too. Bleach, I don't even know if I would have got through the invasion portion. I probably would have forced myself because it's Bleach, but I think, every single show in this list has something good about it. There's no show in this tier list that's truly fucking awful. Every show had something good about it. It's just that tier lists are kind of shit, aren't they? Like they force you to put something on a fucking ranking. I mean, it's just kind of shit. But to me, tier lists are just a easy, clear way for people to disagree with you. And that's both the worst part of a tier list and the absolute best part about it. But I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go through, it's going to be a lot of editing. It's going to be a lot of fucking editing. I really hope my green screen doesn't look like shit. It probably does because in the last take it did, but thank you for watching.